I sentence you to 18 months in prison.
You lying little whore.
It's a national institution.
Who could think that we were common, eh?
Its characters are household names.
Come on, Martha, so it's your turn.
Its storylines part of our lives. And now it is 50 years old.
Coronation Street.
Coronation Street.
Coronation Street's all right. Mind, there's some you'll have to watch.
Over the years, we've seen more than 10,000 characters and just as many twists and turns. But which is Coronation Street's greatest ever story?
And suddenly Bill had me by the throat.
Brilliant one-liners. You Norman Bates with a briefcase.
This year, we asked you to vote for your favourite Corrie storyline, and we've already celebrated the first half from 50 to 26. Tonight, we continue the countdown and reveal the street's greatest moment.
Brought a tear to my eyes.
We'll also hear the secrets behind each of these unforgettable storylines from the people who brought them to our screens.
We had lots of gorgeous firemen in that me and Julie kept winking at.
These tempestuous lives, it's just such fun.
So it's 3 cheers for a national treasure. And let the final Coronation Street countdown begin. Down the years, Coronation Street has always reflected social change. And at 25, you've voted for the story which saw Todd Grimshaw discover his true feelings.
I think for them to do a storyline involving a character questioning his sexuality or being gay, it was quite sensational.
I like this. What? Sitting here, talking to you.
I think it was long overdue that we had a gay character at the centre of the show, not in a kind of token way, but playing big stories.
You know when you asked if you were going to get to know the real me? Mm-hmm. Think you already have? Never felt this close.
What was that?
Kiss?
The first time I kissed him, the character was supposed to kiss him again, but I kept forgetting.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
The producer kept ringing down from the office going, just kiss longer, kiss harder.
But I thought... Yeah, I know what you thought. Wrong move, Todd.
And it wasn't just Nick that Todd had eyes for. There was also Carl.
Why did you invite me here? Because I wanted to be with you.
There was only one way out, to come out.
So you don't want to get married in the church, right?
I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. And reason? You want to know why? Reason is because I'm gay. So, now you know.
I'll remember this view for the rest of my life.
Spring 1983 saw a comedy classic when 2 of Corrie's best-loved barmaids swapped the warmth of the Rover's bar for a Rover car, submerged in a lake deep in the heart of Cheshire.
They told us that the storyline was you 3 go on a picnic. Tar for bringing us, Fred. Don't get out much these days. Well, not now.
It was March, it was very cold, but certainly not as cold as it was going to get.
We get in the car, and it's chained to a tractor at the back, so we won't go too far in the water. Wrong.
Fred, we're moving!
Pull the handbrake on!
We rolled very quickly into the lake.
Handbrake, pull it!
I am doing!
Pull it harder!
I can't!
And this flaming car goes straight down there.
Pull it harder!
The car started to fill.
We're sinking, you know. We're up to our ankles.
I said, if anybody's interested, I've got a little stickleback fish in the car with me.
Are you just going to stand there, eh? Watching us drown?
There was a swan. I said to Julie, if that swan comes anywhere near us, don't touch it, because they're very vicious. The pig came towards us, looked at it, went, I thought, oh, lovely.
Maybe that was Betty's breaking point, I don't know. From the back, she said, I need to spend a penny, Julie.
Oh, my God, it was awful.
Are you right there?
And God!
Got back to my dressing room. There was a little short note
Saying, dear girls, you've done much more than we ever asked you to.
You have put me down. Right slap bang in the middle of a flaming cow plop.
and there was a quarter bottle of brandy. I got really excited.
I'm dying to learn French. Quite excited. Sure you don't mind?
Not a bit, no.
At 23 in our countdown, you voted for this story featuring barmaid Raquel Wollstonecombe, who was always looking to better herself. And when Ken was offering French lessons, how could she possibly resist?
When I heard about the Ken giving French lessons to Raquel, I thought, oh no, it's going to be hello, mispronunciation.
If you're too busy, there's a woman I can go to round here. Private French lessons. She's put a little card in phone booth.
I should have known better because the writers are always brilliant.
Well, I know what the gets are. And, well, coffee's cafe. Red wine's Vin Rouge. Oh, and I met a Frenchman in coffee who taught me how to say, isn't it a lovely day today?
So there you are, you're not a complete novice.
One of the great traits of Raquel, I think, was the fact that she was ignorant of the world, really. She was remarkably naive.
Let's put a sentence together. I want you to say to me, in French, hello, Ken. My name is Raquel. Isn't it a lovely day today, okay?
Oh, clever.
And then, of course, you had that wonderful moment.
Bonjour, Ken. Je m'appelle Raquel. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
It's what the street should be. It should be able to provide different levels of comedy for different generations.
Ken, isn't it important, communication?
Ina Sharples and Elsie Tanner were always at loggerheads, so when landlady Ina wanted to evict tenant Elsie, there could only be one outcome: fight!
Ina and Elsie were fire and brimstone.
Don't move your lips, she's over there in the snug.
When those two collided, stand by for action.
Would you pass it up, please?
Basically, they loathed each other.
You what? It's your notice. It says, take your hook out of my house, only it says it more polite than that.
Ina was essentially a Victorian, and as far as she was concerned, Elsie was a woman whose house during the war had been the League of Nations.
It's not so much you're chucking me at, it's a nasty, sneaking, sly way you did it. You've been waiting for this day for the last 70 years, haven't you, Mrs. Sharp?
She's chucking me out of my vestries.
What I really recall was Violet's energy.
If you want to move me out of that house, you'll move me in a 6-foot box.
Yes, and I'll do that and all.
It must have taken something out of it, because she was getting on a bit, and Pat was going out to hammer and tongues.
Look here, you'll only move me out of this house when I want to go. In the meantime, go jump in the cots, you... My way!
Go on, don't forget.
Mrs. Sharples, you're too old for this sort of thing.
At the end of it, you see Pat absolutely defiant.
You're still my landlord, are you?
Oh, yes, I am that.
Well, you'll pay for that window.
You're nearly there.
Yes, Sarah. Now push for me.
In 2000, Corrie hit the headlines again when 13-year-old Sarah Louise caused scandal on the street and in the tabloids with a teenage pregnancy.
I remember going up to the office at Coronation Street and being told that I had a storyline. And then they hit me with the fact that I was going to be pregnant.
Oh my God, she's 13.
What have you found? Just hold on a second. Come and take a seat.
I was 16 at the time, and I didn't realise how big the storyline was going to be.
Is there anything you'd like to tell us?
No.
Will somebody tell us what's going on? She's pregnant.
I always felt really sorry for her in that storyline. She was a sweet girl, and she just got unlucky. It absolutely exploded, and it was everywhere. People would write to me about friends of theirs or themselves who were in similar situations. So I think it really struck a chord with a lot of people.
She's beautiful. It was a great scene to work on, and actually remains one of my favourites, even now.
It's only now that I can look back and say, flipping heck, that was huge. It was absolutely massive.
Coming up, Karen MacDonald puts the boot in. Well, stiletto.
She was like, what are you going to actually do with that stiletto, babes?
And do I smell a whiff of romance?
I inserted a quarter pound of gorgonzola cheese into the bed just to liven things up.
I'm ready.
Welcome back to Coronation Street, 50 years, 50 moments, as voted for by you. In 1983, Bet Lynch decided it was time to join a dating agency, but got the shock of her life when she saw a familiar face. What happened next is at number 20.
I'll show you one or two of our clients.
I remember as back going into the dating agency and seeing Bill Tarmy on the screen as Vince Sinclair.
My name's Vince Sinclair.
I'm in the business, show business, that is. Maybe you've heard of me. I sing, I dance.
I'm pretty well known in show circles.
I still know the speech.
Why should a guy like me, with all I have going for me, use a dating agency?
Are you all
That
right,
isn't my
Miss Lynch?
profession.
And, of course, I mean, Bet had to set him up.
Never one to miss a trick, Bet set a honey trap to catch out Jack, and unsuspecting Vera walks straight in.
Vera? You're a married woman, Vera. Listen, if I want to go, love, I'll go.
He has to get discovered, and it has to be Vera that discovers him.
This gentleman is in the entertainment business.
Now you're talking, kid. Is it anybody we know?
Well, I haven't heard of him myself, I must admit, but perhaps you have.
My name's Vince Sinclair.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'll wake up in a minute and find it's all been a dream.
With Vera on the warpath, a date was set up between Carol Munro and Vincent Clare.
Vincent Clare speaking.
Only Jack could have set up some sort of date in his local.
8 o'clock. Rover's Return, Coronation Street.
I mean, what kind of fella would do that?
Hi, Carol.
Well, hello, Vince. Terrific to meet you.
Of course, he got battered again.
In 2005, we saw barmaid Shelley Unwin become a shadow of her former self thanks to boyfriend Charlie Stubbs when the street bravely tackled the issue of domestic abuse.
I kind of set about researching it, really, as best as I could, and I got in touch with an organisation called Women's Aid, who look after people who've been on the receiving end of people like Charlie. From a storyline perspective, you're kind of going, my God, this is a very big deal for an awful lot of people out there, and we have to get this right. Charlie, moment by moment, week by week, cutting Shelley off from everything that was around her. First from her family, then from her friends, so that ultimately she was locked away in her room and wholly reliant on him.
Agoraphobic Shelley turned to therapy to reach her goal of walking down the aisle.
What is the worst thing that you could ever land upon an agoraphobic? It's to walk down an aisle with everyone you know watching and you are the centre of attention.
I can do this.
Will you take Charles to be your husband? Will you love him, comfort him, and, forsaking all others, be faithful to him as long as you both shall live?
No, I won't. I'm sorry, but I won't.
As you're typing away in your little room, you're open for national celebrations at the point where she says you can get lost.
I can't marry you! Yes.
I was just delighted for Shelley that Charlie got his comeuppance.
At 18, it's how unhinged solicitor Maya Sharma sought revenge on former flame Dev in one of the street's most explosive storylines.
Kieran Roberts, the producer, saw a glint in my eye.
They went out for lunch, and she decided to do a runner from the restaurant. It's no big deal, but there was something slightly dangerous about the way she did that.
I'll go this time, I mean it. 5, 4...
This is madness!
The choice was whether or not to make her a cartoon villain or whether to try and create sympathy for her for as long as I possibly could.
But hell hath no fury like a solicitor scorned, and when Dev rekindled his passion with ex-Sunita, Maya did some kindling of her own and torched Dev's corner shop, with the happy couple still in it.
There's somebody in here! Get back! Fire in the corner shop!
We had to shoot my reaction to the explosion before the explosion had actually happened because of the schedule and the timing. I had to imagine that the thing had exploded. But of course I wasn't seeing any of that, I was just seeing an empty street. That's no good. I went straight to the director and I said, you've got to retake that reaction. It was terrible. I think I went... He said, don't worry, I think it's going to be fine.
But the explosion didn't wipe out Dev or Sunita, so Mad Maya felt driven to try and